What's the single biggest mistake that instantly identifies you as a vulnerable tourist? I spent 10 years traveling the world and discovered 11 dead giveaways that criminals look for when choosing their next victim. And most travelers have no idea that they're doing it. The first mistake is a biggie with Americans, especially patriotic Americans. Don't get me wrong, I'm proud of where I'm from, but plastering your country's flag on every single thing you wear is probably not the best idea when you're traveling. It instantly marks your nationality, which makes you an easier target for specific tricks that are known to work from tourists from your country. Or it could simply just attract the wrong type of attention altogether in certain different regions. In general, when you travel, the more that you can blend in, the better. It's not so much about hiding who you are, but more just minimizing obvious markers that scream tourist. In many places, your country might be immediately associated with wealth. So unless you want bad actors looking at you as a walking ATM machine, it's better just to stay low-key and blend in. Next is a mistake that we've all done. You just landed in a new city and you're out hunting looking for cool places on Google Maps. But walking around with your phone out, eyes locked on your map is basically broadcasting, I'm new here and I have no idea where I am. It's not just about looking lost though, it's about the distraction, which makes you a prime target for snatch and run thefts. Thieves are literally actively searching for people who have their eyes glued to their phone when they're choosing the next victim. 1 second you're checking for directions, the next second your phone is gone. I recommend studying your route before you leave your hotel to get a general idea of where you're going. Then if you need to check the map again while you're out, just step aside, be discreet, put your phone away before you start again, and then walk confidently. Another trick is to just put one earbud in where you can listen to the turn-by-turn directions, or you can also use a smartwatch for maps if you have one. Okay, so we've already mentioned that blending in is key, and the easiest way to not blend in is to ignore local customs when it comes to dress. Showing up wearing revealing clothes in a conservative area or wearing beach gear far away from the beach doesn't just mark you as a tourist, it also can be seen as just plain disrespectful and get you some death stares. My wife Diane and I learned this firsthand when visiting local islands in the Maldives. Normally when you picture a beach paradise, you think bikinis everywhere, right? Wrong. Away from the designated tourist beach on each island, these communities are strictly Muslim and don't like anyone showing skin above the elbows or above the knees. And doing a little bit of research ahead of time saved us from offending the locals and just some really awkward situations. In some places, ignoring the dress code can get you bad treatment, denied entry, or worse. So always do a few minutes of research beforehand to avoid any uncomfortable or even dangerous situations, especially for women. Next, if you can't manage a simple hello, thank you, or know the basic numbers in a language, you can appear more vulnerable and are easier to take advantage of. For example, during my years traveling, there have been multiple times where things mysteriously end up being more expensive than I expected, and my initial gut reaction is to always think, oh, I must have misunderstood what they were saying and it's my fault. Learning some of the local language shows respect, it helps you navigate situations more safely, and honestly, it just makes for a better travel experience. I'm currently using Rosetta Stone to pick up some Portuguese before our next trip to Brazil, and I got them to partner with me on this video. Rosetta Stone uses a dynamic immersion approach where you literally get thrown in as if you're immersed in the place, learning by images. This is meant to replicate the learning process that happens to children who pick up languages so easily. I've tried a lot of other language apps, and while some of the other ones might give you a bigger dopamine hit, they tend to teach in a way that makes you first translate into English and then translate into your target language. When I was first learning Spanish, this is exactly what I did, and literally no one would ever want to talk to me because it would take so long to do all these translations in my head before I finally spit it out. The solution to this is to train yourself to think directly in the other language, which is exactly what Rosetta Stone helps you do with their desktop and mobile app. Their True Accent technology gives you instant feedback on your pronunciation so that when you're talking to locals, they actually understand what you're trying to say instead of just looking at you like a crazy person. You can get an exclusive discount of over 60% off their monthly subscription or lifetime access to all 25 languages using the link in the description box below or by scanning the QR code on screen. Next up, imagine you're having a fun night out, dancing the night away in Barcelona in a cool club that everyone's recommending. You've made some new friends, the music's on point, and you're just gonna step away for a second to use the bathroom. Your fancy overpriced cocktail is still half full, so you set it down on the table, assuming that your friends will keep an eye on it. I mean, you'll be back in just a second, right? This exact scenario happens thousands of times per night in tourist hotspots around the world. And security experts say it's one of the most dangerous travel mistakes that tourists can make. I used to be pretty casual about this myself until my wife Diane sent me some videos of scopolamina in Colombia. It's a scary substance nicknamed devil's breath that can be slipped into drinks and make victims conscious but compliant and then forget everything that happened afterwards. This is not paranoia, and it's based on real incidents that happen at an alarming rate in tourist areas. Now whenever I go out salsa dancing, Diane taught me some rules. Always dance with your drink in view and cover it with a napkin. You can also pick up some cheap reusable bottle covers that would fit easily in your wallet. Next up, listen to this conversation and tell me what's wrong with it. "So where are you staying?" asked the friendly local you just met in the bar. "Oh, I'm staying at this cool container house in the Tavares neighborhood. I'm just here for 5 more days, but tomorrow I'm gonna go on a hike to the beach and I'll be gone from like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sounds like a normal travel conversation, right? But this kind of casual chat is exactly how many travelers set themselves up for theft. I remember I was in Mexico a while back chatting with this super friendly guy that I met in a cafe. Within minutes, I told him where I'm staying, how long I'd be in town, and my rough itinerary. This is all common information that travelers normally ask each other, but looking back, I cringe at the amount of private information I told him within the first couple minutes. But it gets even worse when we bring in social media to the mix. I've seen countless posts from travel friends that essentially read, "Just checked into room 305 at the Grand Hotel, off to explore the city for the day, hashtag travel life," complete with location tags and timestamps. Might as well just announce to the world, "Here's where all my stuff is and I'm not gonna be anywhere near it for hours." If you wanna avoid making yourself an easy target, don't overshare your specific travel plans with strangers. It doesn't matter how friendly they are. Also, I know this can be hard because we're all excited when we're traveling and wanna share, but just avoid posting your live location and activities public on social media. When you're chatting with new people, just keep the details about your trip super vague. And if something feels a little bit off about someone who's asking you questions, then just make stuff up. Next, wanna know one of the worst feelings when traveling abroad? Losing your passport. Just ask my wife, who's Colombian and lost her passport in a bus from England to France. Apparently trying to cross the border back into England as a 24-year-old Colombian traveling alone is not a fun experience. But travelers have their passports lost or stolen every day, and a lot of times it's because they're carrying the original around with them everywhere they go when they absolutely don't need to. Just keep it safely hidden or locked up in your accommodation and bring a copy with you. Yes, there are a very small number of countries that require you to carry your original passport around with you everywhere you go, like Japan, for example. But let's be practical about the risks. What's most likely to happen and what would suck more? On one hand, you have a tiny chance of a minor hassle, maybe even a few hours in a police station explaining why you left your passport in your accommodation. On the other hand, you have the absolute nightmare of your entire trip essentially stopping, emergency embassy visits, temporary documents, stress, hassle, delays, and potentially hundreds of dollars in fees. After 10 years of travel, I've never had a problem using a photocopy of my passport for day-to-day identification, except maybe once or twice when trying to buy tickets to some government site. So keep your passport safe as if your life depended on it. The next mistake seems like it should be obvious by now, but judging by the number of pickpockets that happen every single day in tourist sites, I guess it's not. In Pickpocketing 101 class, thieves learn to target the people who have big, bulging wallets hanging out of their back pocket. It's accessible, it's often unnoticed when taken, and it requires minimal skill to slip out. The solution is simply to put your valuables in your front pocket where your hands naturally rest. Then if you're walking through crowded areas, just put your hands in your pocket covering your stuff. Better yet, use a slim front pocket wallet with travel pants that have zipper pockets. Many companies have sent me pants to test over the years, but my favorite ones that I actually pack are these sweats with zippered side pockets and a little bit of baby spit up. These black shorts with zippers. These joggers that have like a million different pockets, including 4 different zipper pockets. These stretchy, comfy, yet more casual looking pants that have tight side pockets and a zippered back pocket here, which adds security if you still prefer to use your back pocket. And for dressier occasions, these merino wool pants that never smell bad and have a zippered back pocket as well. But I'm still not convinced that paying extra for merino wool makes sense for things that don't normally smell bad anyways. I would say t-shirts and underwear definitely are worth it, but casual pants, I'm not really sure. Speaking of zippers and wallets and purses and crossbody bags or whatever you store your valuables in, what if that one thing gets stolen? The thing with all your cash, all your credit cards, your driver's license, your IDs, hotel keys, and maybe even your passport. It might seem like common sense to keep all your valuables together in a small bag that you can keep with you and keep a close eye on at all the time. And for the most part, this is a good idea. But that also means that just one moment of inattention and one skilled theft, and suddenly you've lost everything and your entire trip is derailed. In my opinion, the smarter approach is to distribute some of your essentials. Keep one card and some cash that you might need for the day on your body securely. Then leave your backup cards and access cash and passport all locked up or hidden safely in your accommodation. Perhaps even in multiple different hiding spots. You can get creative and come up with your own hiding spots, or if you're looking for some super sneaky ways to hide your valuables and your cash while you're traveling, plus some other anti-theft gear that I swear by, watch this video next. In the video, I reveal a bunch of clever travel gear that thieves absolutely hate. Like, subscribe, and do the things. Love you. Bye-bye.